Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a little life update, very chatty Q&A video. I haven't done one of these probably in over a year. I was looking back on my channel and I find that I do them around the time that I'm about to move. Every single time I'm like, oh, let me talk about my move, and then I'll just do a full like life update Q&A video. So they average like every 1 to 2 years, and here we are. We're moving in about 4 or 5 weeks now, so it's about time for my annual catch up with you guys. That's really all this video is going to be. I'm just going to sit down and talk about life, answer a few questions that you guys have left me in my comments. It is a Friday night. It is about 5:30. I just poured myself a glass of wine. I just wanted to sit, reflect on life, and talk with you guys. So go get yourself a glass, a mocktail, a poppy, whatever suits your fancy, and just kind of put this on in the background and hang out with me. I also just want to say, before I get into the beef of the video, just want to say thank you. Oh my gosh, I gained, I want to say 1,000 subscribers last month, which is the most in the history of my channel ever that I've gained in a month. And I'm just so grateful. It's very cool when something that is just like a hobby and a passion you start to feel like it's recognized and people are subscribing and commenting, and it's just the best feeling ever. I started this channel back in 2020 during COVID. I just graduated college. I was living with my parents. So this channel has always been kind of like not a diary, but just the journal of my life and being super real and raw and honest and taking you guys along. So I just wanted to say thank you so much to all the new faces, and especially all the people who have stuck around throughout the years. I have quite a few questions you guys left in my comments and on my community tab that I'm going to get into. Some of them are a couple financial questions. I'm going to talk about what my degree is, my animals, a lot of questions about me and Will. We'll definitely get into all those questions, but just as a brief intro for my new faces, hi, I'm Krista. I am 26. I currently live in Tampa, Florida. I'm originally from the Raleigh area, Raleigh, North Carolina, born and raised, and me and my fiance Will moved down to Tampa a year ago just for fun. We're both remote, just wanted to try out a new city, and it's been great. I work from home as a data analyst. My channel is basically just me taking you getting through our 20s and everything that encompasses. Thank you so much for being here. I am so cozy here on the couch, ready to chat. So without further ado, let's get into the main reason that I'm making this video, and it is that we are moving out of Tampa, which I have not like accepted this fact yet, so it feels very weird to be announcing it to the world because it still does not feel real to me at all. Let me back it up a little bit for anyone who doesn't know. I previously lived for 3 years in Charlotte, North Carolina, and that is where Will's job is based. He was allowed to go basically temporarily remote. He got special approval, and that's what prompted us to move over to Tampa. I had lived in North Carolina my whole life. Like I said, I was born and raised in Raleigh and then moved 3 hours away to Charlotte. And so I'd always wanted to live somewhere else and try something different. So we made it happen. He got approved to go remote. My job is fully remote, and we moved out to Tampa, and we have been here 15 months. But long story short, Will got a promotion, which we are very excited about, very happy for him. But with that promotion kind of came the need for him to be back in his office, which his company is based in Charlotte. So we are headed back to Charlotte, North Carolina. I can't even believe that. The feeling is very bittersweet. There's pros and cons. Cons, number one, moving is kind of expensive. I'm not looking forward to loading up a U-Haul and hauling all of our stuff back to Charlotte. That's just a pain. The other con is that I'm obviously very sad to leave like the friends that we have met here in Tampa. We met quite a few good friends that I know they'll be lifelong friends, but it still sucks to be further distance away from them. And then also I just feel like our time in Tampa was maybe a little short-lived. I never thought this would be where we settled down and bought a house and had kids and all that stuff. I knew Tampa was a temporary place for us just to kind of try it out, but I didn't think it would be just one lease. I definitely thought maybe like 2 to 4 years was more so what I envisioned when we, you know, packed everything up and moved down here. So that's my other thing, is I just feel like it was very short-lived. But with that being said, you guys know, if you were here when I lived in Charlotte, I do love Charlotte as a city. I think it's a great city. So many young professionals. So I am excited to be back there. It has changed a lot just in the year that we've been gone. There's so much new stuff, so many new restaurants that I'm excited to explore and check out. And I'm excited to take you guys along, of course, back to Charlotte. Another really great pro of Charlotte for us is that it is kind of a middle point between our families. Will is from Knoxville, Tennessee, and I am from Raleigh, North Carolina. And Charlotte is about right in the middle. So it's about 3 hours from my family and it's about 4 hours from his family. So it really is a great middle point, especially with all the wedding stuff we have going on. It will be nice to be closer to family, at least for the next year or so. But honestly, who even knows? That is one thing that I just don't have a sense of permanence in my life. I feel like because of where we are in our careers, I just don't feel a sense of permanence. Like, part of me feels like, who knows, we could go back to Charlotte for one lease and then have another job change and move again. And that's just because of the where we are in our lives. We are very kind of career focused right now. I am very happy with working a remote job. That's what I want. You guys know I love that very much. I love the flexibility that it allows me. For Will, his job kind of requires being in person a bit more. So if he happened to get a new job, switch companies, whatever, the chances we would have to move to a new city are high. There's no plans right now or anything, but if he did get a new job, we would probably have to move again. If my job was in person, we would move for my job too, but mine's not. We have the flexibility of just kind of going wherever the best job is for Will, because I like my remote job. All in all, we're going back to Charlotte because Will got a promotion and he needs to start going back in the office. Pros and cons, it's very bittersweet. I'm so sad to be leaving Tampa after. It just doesn't feel like we were here long enough. I feel like it takes about a year to really, for a place to start to really feel like home, like comfortable. And then we're just picking up and going back to Charlotte. But at least we have spent 3 years before this in Charlotte. So, you know, I am already pretty comfortable with that city. So hope it won't feel like something totally new, just be a different phase of life that I'm back in Charlotte. So yeah, I know I had a lot of people who were in Charlotte, subscribers, so maybe I'll see you guys around, who knows. I know a lot of people also found my channel when I moved to Tampa, so I hope you guys stick around, even though I'm headed back to good old North Carolina. And who knows what is next. Like I said, with us being in a very career-oriented time in our lives, jobs can take you anywhere. So who really knows? Life is very up in the air. Cheers to that. Cheers to going back to North Carolina. I guess speaking of career, I'll give a little career update. I feel good. Honestly, I'm really happy with where I am in my career. I've been at my job now a year and a half, and I would definitely like to stay. I don't have any plans of job searching anytime soon. Would love a promotion within my current company. That was a goal for me by the end of this year. I'm not sure how that's looking, but I'm still hopeful maybe by the end of the year I could get some kind of promotion. But yeah, I'm learning a lot. I have a lot of autonomy in my position and I feel really happy with my position. And I also just love the flexibility that it allows me, that I'm allowed to go with my fiance if he gets a promotion or he gets his dream job or whatever. I'm happy to do that because I'm happy with my job. I feel like everyone always wants more money, and that's the thing. Like, I'm like, but some things are worth your happiness and your comfort. If I'm making 20K less because I'm remote than if I went in an office, I'm honestly okay with that right now. And some people think I'm crazy for that, but I'm happy with what I'm doing. So that's the career update. Nothing really there. I feel settled. I feel good. Wedding planning update. Planning is going really well. We actually just picked out our tasting menu. We're going to be doing our reception catering tasting menu in September. And that's definitely a pro of being back in Charlotte, is that we're going to be able to do a lot more wedding stuff hands-on. I've kind of been putting off a lot of the wedding stuff because we were so far away and I knew we were moving back to Charlotte. We found this out in May. I was putting off a lot of the wedding stuff because I know that we'll be a lot closer. Our wedding's in Raleigh, so Charlotte is only 3 hours versus currently we're 10 hours drive. So we'll be able to do all of our tastings. We'll be able to go to our rental appointment in person, venue tours, all that. Whereas before I was gonna have to either take a special trip up to North Carolina or do it virtually. So I have put off a lot of the wedding stuff until the move is done. And then once the move is done, I have quite a bit that I need to start doing. I need to start buying or DIYing any signage we're gonna have. We have a reception tasting, we have a rehearsal dinner tasting, we have a cake tasting. So excited for the cake tasting, by the way. Cake is my favorite dessert. I love cake, so I'm so excited about that. We have like venue walkthroughs. There's lots of stuff that I'm gonna try to cram in once we're back in North Carolina. We are also going up to North Carolina in about 2 weeks time from now to tour apartments and also take some engagement photos. So that will be fun. I didn't feel like we needed engagement photos because none of my wedding stationery is photos. It's all just formal, but it comes with my photographer's package, like an engagement session came with it. So I figured why not? We could use them around our house or our guest book. I think I'll probably use them for. I feel like we probably could have moved without going to tour places, but there's just so much new. We're still debating between a townhouse or just a 2-bed apartment. It's just gonna depend on what's available. If we find like a great townhouse, we'll go with that. But I'm pretty picky about location. So location and budget, those are hard to match. So we might just end up in an apartment, but still, I'm excited if we do even do a 2-bed apartment. I have never lived in a 2-bed apartment without a roommate, if that makes sense. It'll be nice because it'll just be all of our space. Both bedrooms is ours. So we'll see what we go with once we go tour. I'm gonna do a whole touring apartments video for you guys, of course. That will be coming in August. Okay, those are all the updates I think that I have. I will probably think of more stuff as I go through this video and answer questions, but I wanna go through the questions before this gets way too long. And also thank you so much to everyone who did ask a question. I really appreciate it because it helped me like steer this video and like what to talk about. First question, what is the biggest thing you learned financially and biggest piece of advice as a fellow 26-year-old gal regarding finances? I should have thought of this beforehand. Let me think. I feel like I've told this to you guys many times in my like financial budgeting videos and stuff, but the best thing I have done for my finances, I mean, absolute game changer, is tracking every expense that comes out of my bank account. If you watch my financial videos, you probably know I have a spreadsheet. I write in the spreadsheet every single expense that comes out of my bank account to really see where my money is going. It's so easy to overspend or shop for things and not realize how much you're doing that. And not even amounts of money, but more so for me, it was like how often I was doing it. There's no reason I need to be having a clothing haul every month. No need for that. And seeing my behaviors written out on a spreadsheet just really helped me to reel it in. It helped me to prioritize where I want to be spending. So that's probably my #1 piece of advice. My biggest regret, which I feel like could maybe help someone who's not doing this, my biggest regret is not saving earlier in life. It's hard to look back on and reflect because I can't remember how much money I had, but I know I wasn't super responsible with it. Like even during when I was getting my master's, any money that I made, I was blowing it. Like I was doing clothing hauls, I was going out to the bars, which you have to do some of that, like you have to live your life, but I'm sure there was areas where I could have reeled it in. My years getting my master's degree, I don't think I saved a dime. And that's probably one of my biggest regrets, especially at this point where I'm like, girl, you could have used that money now for really important things. So that just teaches me that at any point in life, start saving. I don't care if it's 50 bucks a paycheck into a savings account. If you're doing that for years on end, like one day you will thank yourself for that. So I definitely think not saving earlier in life was kind of a regret of mine. I was still putting money into a Roth IRA and whatnot, but I wasn't just having a savings account, like an emergency fund. No emergency fund here. So yeah, I would say track your spending and whatever you have left over, put that in savings. Whatever you can, your future self will thank you for that. I am also doing a what I spent in July video. That will be coming up, I think right after this one. So we'll talk more about my savings updates and everything in that video. What is your degree in? So my undergraduate degree is from UNC Chapel Hill. I got my bachelor's in exercise and sports science. I've talked about this before, but I thought I wanted to do like either a doctor or PA school. So I was kind of going that route. Totally changed my mind with that. And then I ended up getting my master's in health administration. So I would say my MHA is more so the degree that I use. So my Master of Health Administration. And then after that, I learned to code through a coding boot camp at UNC Chapel Hill. That's not a degree program. It was just a certificate, but it was definitely helpful for me. What is your cat's name? Okay, let me do a pet introduction. My cat's name is Shinji. He is named after an anime show, Neon Genesis, which was the first anime me and Will watched together. He loves anime. He's kind of gotten me into it. I will watch it with him. So his name is Shinji, S-H-I-N-J-I. He's about 2 years old, just a black fluffy cat. We love him. He's hilarious. A family friend found him in a barn. They found a whole litter of kittens, and he was the last one left because she didn't want to get rid of him because he was so sweet, but she decided she needed to get rid of him, so we took him. And he's the luckiest guy ever, honestly, that we took him, and he gets to live with us because he is so spoiled. And then we also have a dog. Our dog's name is Franklin. He is 4 years old. I got him in college, kind of. He was my COVID puppy, so I took him home in March of 2020. It was a very spontaneous decision with COVID, like a lot of people. I thought, well, I'm gonna be home for a while, perfect time to get a puppy. So that's what I did. Since I got him in college, it was the end of my senior year. I named him Franklin because Franklin Street is the street in Chapel Hill, like a very famous street with a lot of bars and restaurants and shops and whatnot. So named him Franklin. We are big animal lovers over in this house. I feel like we would have more if it wasn't for our space. I make a point to walk Franklin, make sure he gets his exercise. But you know, I'm very aware that we don't have a yard. I wouldn't want to have multiple dogs without a yard, I think, where they can like really play and wrestle and whatnot. So we'll see if one day we get more, but for now, we're good with our one dog, one cat. Next question, how did you get into fitness and keep at it consistently? It's so important to take care of your body, and I think you set a great example. Thank you. That is so sweet. I didn't read that second half. Thank you. How did I get into fitness? Well, my undergrad degree is exercise and sports science. I was a cheerleader my whole life, competitive cheerleader up until college. And then after that, I was like, okay, how am I gonna work out? I got into weightlifting, followed Whitney Simmons, like all of her programs back when I was in college. I was really into weightlifting, really enjoyed that. I think I just kind of, when I stopped cheerleading, I knew I wanted to remain active, and that's just what I fell into. And ever since then, it's just been a really big part of my life, like a habit. I actually just filmed a week of workouts this past week that you guys will see next week, I think, sometime soon, where I sit down and I have a whole chat about motivation and working out and everything. So that'll definitely be a great video to watch to go along with this question. But honestly, at this point, it's just habit and discipline. I don't overextend myself. I'm not one who wants to work out 6 or 7 days a week. I find that 4 to 5 is perfect for me. It's enough that I still enjoy it, but I'm not burning out. You know, I work out 4 to 5 days a week. If I don't feel like lifting heavy weights or going to my workout studio, I'll just do a treadmill walk, and that's okay. To me, as long as I'm hitting the 4 to 5 days a week, I don't really care what I'm doing, as long as I'm hitting that 4 to 5 days a week. So I would say, you know, pick a number. If it's 3 days a week, 4, 5, 2, whatever it is, and just do that consistently for as long as you can. And that really builds habits and discipline. Working out makes me feel good. It makes me feel productive, makes me feel like I accomplished something throughout my day. So I really enjoy it. It's a mixture of I enjoy how it makes me feel after the fact and just discipline, because most of the days I don't want to go. I'm not like, woohoo, let's go work out. I'm like, oh, I have to go do this. Like, I have to. But I always feel good after. So I would say it's discipline, habit, and just knowing that in the long run, that's the best thing you can really do for yourself physically. Can you guys tell that I'm feeling this wine? Because I feel like my speech is slurring. Someone asked for book recs, which is so funny to me because I am not a big reader. Well, I was not a big reader. Reading is very new to me. I am new into the reading game. One day I just got tired of scrolling on my phone and was like, okay, people are talking really highly about this reading thing. I need to try it out. I always tell Will, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go watch my movie in my head, AKA read. And he's like, you discovered reading at 26 years old. So I'm very new to the reading world. I'm very much into the fantasy genre right now. Maybe I'll explore some other genres. Feel free to leave book recs in the comments. I would love that. Before I started reading like a couple months ago, I probably hadn't read since high school, and that was like Twilight. This was my first love that got me back into reading. Fourth Wing, Iron Flame. This is the Empyrean series. I do highly suggest. Like I said, it got me back into reading. It got me into the fantasy genre. I love them dearly. The third book comes out in January and I'm looking forward to that. So if you haven't read those, I highly suggest. And then my next love, the ACOTAR series. The first one is A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is the last book. I just started it. So I'm on A Court of Silver Flames now. There's 5 books out for that one, and more are planned in the future. Also love it very much. I cannot pick between the two. I genuinely, if you ask me, I can't pick because I feel like Fourth Wing was like my first love. Like I was like, oh, I can read. I like to read. And ACOTAR, I don't know. She has a special place to me too. I love her very much. I'm kind of obsessed. My whole TikTok For You page is ACOTAR. I don't even know what it is. It's like AI reenactments of ACOTAR. Those are the only 2 things I can recommend because those are the only 2 things I've read in the last 10 years, fiction-wise. But if you haven't read Fourth Wing or the ACOTAR series, those are my suggestions. I'll keep you guys updated in my book journey. Like I said, please leave suggestions down below. Well, I already know after ACOTAR, I'm gonna read Throne of Glass because it's the same author. I've heard it's the same universe as ACOTAR. So I already know that's my next one, but keep them coming. Okay, the rest of the questions are all about Will, which I think is so funny. He is so funny, you guys. Like, first of all, he's my biggest supporter when it comes to vlogging. Like if I get in ruts, you know, like everyone does. If I get down on myself, he is my biggest supporter. He's like, no, please keep vlogging. I love the vlogs. I love that we have these memories. How did you and your fiance meet and how long have y'all been together? So we have been together about 3 years now. We got engaged after dating for 1.5 years. Some people might say that's short. Some people might say that's long. It was perfect for us. I mean, it's cheesy, but when you know, you know. He has never, why am I about to cry? Stop. Y'all, he really wants to say our vows like out loud at the wedding, and I don't think I can handle that, but we'll see. It's cheesy, but when you know, you know. He's never made me question his intentions. He's never ever made me feel bad about myself, never been mean to me. I never thought this, but relationships can and should be easy. And ours, like from the day we met, was so easy. When we get married, our engagement will have been about 2 years long. How we met at a bar. I was on one. I was very much living my best single life. I was going out with my friends all the time, having so much fun. I was very much in that mindset of like, I don't want a boyfriend. I want to have fun, and if something happens, I'm open to it. And we were at a bar and I saw him standing behind me, and like I said, I was on one, so I was feeling very confident, feeling myself that night. So I just went up to him and I said, are you single? And he said, yeah. Are you? And I said, yeah. And then I just turned around and walked away. And then he came up to me and was like, let me buy you a drink. And then he bought me a drink, and we were literally attached to the hip from that moment on. Make the first move, ladies. You never know, because Will is such a gem, and he would have never made the first move because he's so polite. You know, like he wouldn't want to come off like creepy or anything. So, you know, you never know. Maybe the good ones are just scared to say hi because they don't want to be creeps. And he's told me that. He said like he would have never made the first move. So I did, and it worked out. So maybe make the first move. That was on a Friday. We met up the next night again out at the bars. And then the next weekend we met up again. And then we had our first date on that Wednesday. So like a week and a half after we met, we had our first date. He cooked me dinner, and then he asked me to be his girlfriend about 4 weeks later, about a month later. It's like every cliche that people say came true for me. Like, you'll find it when you're least looking. I was having so much fun being single, and not like messing around or anything, but just being with myself, just having fun by myself. You find someone when you're least looking, and when you know, you know. Both of those cliches were very much my story. What does Will do for a living, and what did he major in? And what does he want to be doing for a living in the future? I feel like this is a very relevant question since we're literally moving for his promotion. So Will went to the University of Tennessee. He went to UT and he got a degree in finance. And then he also did a coding boot camp. That's how I learned about coding boot camps and how I got inspired to do mine. And then he was working as a data scientist for the company that he's currently at. And then he just got promoted to a quantitative analyst for his current company. I'm gonna try not to get too technical because I honestly don't understand it, but he works in battery metals. So his company provides basically the batteries for electric cars. So they have contracts with Tesla and all the other car companies now who all work with EVs. In the future, he wants to work more with trading. So he wants to work his way up from a quantitative analyst into a trader. That's kind of his current goals. Commodity traders, traditionally, a lot of them are in oil and gas. And I think he would probably be open to oil and gas, but the EV market is very up and coming, so potentially trading in the EV space. Who knows what will happen with life? Life is so up in the air, but he's definitely a very career motivated person. I could see us in the future moving for another promotion or a new job or whatever for him, which I love that about him. I love that he's career motivated. I'm gonna read the definitions because I don't even understand them. A quantitative analyst applies mathematical and statistical methods to financial and risk management problems, implements models to make financial and business decisions. Yes, he works a lot in Python, the coding language, and then he wants to be a commodity trader one day. A commodity trader monitors the market for price fluctuations and identifies opportunities to buy and sell commodities. That's a little more about Will. Last question, how/when did he know you were the one he wanted to marry? Great question, let's ask him. He's not here right now, but when he does get back, I will clip in a clip. I'm gonna ask him this question. I have no idea. I don't think I've ever asked him this. Actually, I actually do know the answer. I'm curious if he'll say the same thing. Early on when we were dating, he had COVID. We kind of met in COVID times. He had COVID and he was really sick, like couldn't breathe, like really, really sick. And I ran him a bath and like rubbed his back and just like, it was through the night, took care of him. I feel like that's what he'll say because he's told me how much that meant to him. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 months maybe after we met. We'll see what he says. So people want to know when you knew you were gonna marry me.
That would be whenever I was sick with COVID. I mean, it had to be like 3 in the morning, and I remember trying to get up as quietly as possible so not to wake you up. And I'm just like rolling around in pain in the hot bath, and then you got out and you you snuck up on me in the dark and started rubbing my back. And the next day you made cookies, you brought me crackers, ginger ale, soup.
How long had we been dating, do you think?
I don't know, 3 months.
That's all I got for this video. I feel like it was a pretty long one. I hope you guys enjoyed the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this. It's Friday night. I have no plans except to probably drink some more wine, and we're gonna make those salmon, Emily Mariko salmon bowls. It's like rice, salmon, veggies, seaweed paper, really delicious, and just hang out. Hope you guys enjoyed this long chatty video. Hope you guys are ready for some moving content. I am not ready. Transparently, this does not feel real to me that we are moving. I hope you guys are ready. Hope you guys stick around. And with that being said, I will see you all so very soon in my next one. Bye guys.